Hey, you're right. Welcome to your tutorial on expanding and collecting like terms. Today we're not actually going to do anything brand new. We're going to amalgamate or bring together two things that we have learned in the past. Expanding that we learnt last lesson and collecting like terms which we learnt about a month ago. So let's have a look at what we mean. Some expressions, or things, the expressions are what we have been looking at, can be simplified by further collecting like terms after any of our grouping symbols have been expanded. So last lesson we looked at expanding. Today we're going to look at, okay, once I've expanded, can I make this expression more simple? So let's have a look at a few examples. The first one says 3 brackets x subtract 5 plus 4. So the first thing we need to do is we need to expand. And again, we'll use the distributive law. So we'll go 3 multiplied by everything inside the bracket. I'll start with the x. Positive 3 multiplied by positive x becomes 3x. Positive 3 multiplied by negative 5 becomes negative 15. So 3 multiplied by 5 is 15. I have a positive and a negative, so my answer becomes a negative, and then it has plus 4 on the end. This has just been carried through from the top statement. Now, there are some like terms in this statement. I've got 3x, that's by itself as one type of term. But then I've got negative 15 plus 4. These are both plain integers with no pronumerals associated. So I can actually simplify this. If it's negative 15 degrees, I'll do it by analogy because most of you seem to work like this. If it's negative 15 degrees and I get 4 degrees warmer, that's going to be negative 15 plus 4. A reminder, when I move from negatives and I add, my numbers actually become what appears to be smaller, or they go down, negative 15, negative 14, negative 13, and they move closer to 0. So negative 15 plus 4 becomes negative 11. So I can actually simplify by collecting these two like terms and going one step further and saying that one simplified is actually 3x subtract 11. Let's have a look at another example. Okay, let's have a look at this example. Here I have 4 brackets 3x plus 4 plus 7x plus 12. Now again, I use the distributive law, okay, and I multiply everything on the inside of the brackets by what's directly on the outside. 4 multiplied by 3x. I start with my integers first. 4 multiplied by 3 is 12, and then I've got an x, okay. Then I do 4 multiplied by positive 4. 4 fours are 16, so that becomes positive 16, and then I've got plus 7x plus 12. Okay, now I've got two different types of like terms. I've got this 12x here, and I'm actually adding 7x. Then I've got positive 16, and I'm adding 12. I have two different types of like terms. Okay, so let's deal with the x's first. 12x plus 7x is very straightforward, guys. That can be simplified to 19x. Then I have positive 16 plus 12. If I add 16 and 12, I come to an answer of 28. So I can actually simplify this to being 19x plus 28. All I'm doing here is saying what terms in this statement are like terms, or either have the same pronumerals or are integers, what are like terms, and how can I write them in a more simple way. Let's look at one more example. Okay, now 2x multiplied by 2x, brackets 3y plus 3 plus 3x brackets y plus 1. Holy guacamole, does that look confusing? That looks like, oh my gosh, where do I even start? But hey guys, it's actually super easy, and we just have to do it one thing at a time. So the first thing I multiply is positive 2x by 3y. Let's deal with the integers first. That's 2 multiplied by 3 is 6, x multiplied by y, xy. Okay, I've got an x and then I've got a y, and I'm multiplying them, and I know I can write my multiplication simply by just following the pronumerals one after the other. Then 2x multiplied by positive 3. I deal with my integers first. What's 2 multiplied by 3? Oh, that's 6, and then I've got an x, and they're positives, so it's plus 6x. I'm going to make that plus a bit more obvious, okay? And that's the first bracket expanded. Then the next bracket I have 3x brackets y plus 1. So 3x multiplied by y is 3xy. 3x multiplied by positive 1 is positive 3x. 3x multiplied by 1 is 3x. And I mean, I've got a positive and a positive, so it equals a positive. Now, very, very careful to pay attention to. 6xy and 3xy are one group of like terms. 6x and 3x are another group of like terms, okay? They can't be combined. 6x can't be combined with 6xy. They are different like terms, okay? So 6xy plus 3xy can be simplified to 9xy. 6x plus 3x, 9x. It's as simple as that, guys. It's not too tricky. It's just expanding first, and then combining my like terms. Okay, finally, the last one. Let's have a look. We've got some negative numbers in here. Okay, so 4x brackets 2x minus 1, subtract 3 brackets 2x, subtract 1. Now, I've got whole lots of stuff going on here. So let's deal with the first bit first. Take it step by step. 4x multiplied by 2x. Okay, let's deal with the integers first. 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. This time we have x multiplied by x. A reminder, when I multiply a pronumeral by itself, it becomes that pronumeral squared. So in this case, I have x squared. Then 4x multiplied by negative 1. A positive multiplied by a negative gives me a negative. So 4x multiplied by negative 1 is negative 4x. Then, the number that's directly outside my next bracket is a 3, but it's actually a negative 3. I've got this negative sign associated with it, so it's actually a negative 3. The first thing we're going to look at is dealing with our integers. So, negative 3 multiplied by 2x. So, negative 3 multiplied by 2. Negative 3 multiplied by 2 is negative 6. And then I've got the x left over. My next bit is my negative 3 multiplied by negative 1. I've got a negative and a negative. A reminder that a negative and a negative will equal a positive. So that actually becomes 3 multiplied by negative 3 multiplied by negative 1 actually becomes positive 3. 3 multiplied by 1, 3, negative, negative, positive. So let's have a look at our like terms now. Now, 8x squared, because it's got a square, okay, I can't actually group it as a like term with the normal x's, okay? So I've got negative 4x and I subtract a further 6x. That's one like term. 8x squared is another like term. And my final like term is my plus 3. So I have 3 different types of like terms here. I can only group terms that are alike. So I'm only able to do negative 4x subtract 6x. So the 8x squared stays the same. Now, negative 4, and I subtract a further 6. I'm on negative 4 degrees, and it gets 6 degrees cooler. So negative 4x subtract 6x is actually going to go down to negative 10x. And then I'm going to be able to plus 3 on the end. I can't group the 3, and I can't group the 8x squared because they are not like terms. But that's it, guys. They're the most possible amount of examples that I could give you to help you expand and collect like terms.